Hello, welcome back, Steve's Retirement Corner. 60 is an important age for retirement planning, Doc. Hey, man, like most everybody, man, I know your early years, your 20s and your 30s, that's prime time for preparing for retirement, but you can't really do a whole lot of planning. You're just not going to be able to. You got no idea what the next 30, 40 years are going to be like. You ain't got no idea what your life's going to be like. So you're really just kind of peeing in the wind if you do. It's a good idea to think about it, but you really can't get good numbers. And that's why I think that 60 is a perfect age for it, man. It's an ideal age. Well, that's one of the reasons. You're closer to retirement, man. You got a pretty daggone good handle on your budget. You kind of understand what you're looking at for spending wise next few years. You know, you're able to understand where your money's gonna be coming from then. You know, and how much and how you have to get it. You know, you're closer to retirement, so it just makes it a little bit easier to be a little bit more exact on your numbers. You just got no idea 30 years early how your life's going to turn out. But it's a great time to start preparing for it. When you're young, man, you're learning and you're building habits that are going to carry you through life. And I think that's important, because if you as much learning as you can do when you're young, the less of that you have to do when you get ready to retire. As far as investing, saving, you know, taxes, junk like that. And that leaves you plenty of time, plenty of mind space to work on everything else once you get up there at 60. At 60, man, you get it's perfect timing, because depending on when you decide to take Social Security, you got at least 2 years to finalize your exit plan, you know. And that means a lot, man. You know, hey, man, sure, you got to change it once you get into it, but ain't no plan perfect, but it kind of gives you something to work with, a starting point that you can start off with, and gives you something that you can work on instead of having to come up with a plan on the fly. You don't need a plan, but I just think it makes things easier. For me, it did anyways. Have some kind of idea of what I'm going to do, you know, as far as my spending, you know, where the money's going to come from, what I was going to do with my time, how I was going to spend that and junk like that. But so yeah, I mean, you're just closer to retirement, and it makes a big difference, I think. You know, you got time, you can go get help if you need it. Seek help from professionals. You know, you can take a look at your options and see what's going to work best for you and your situation. You know, it just makes it so much easier. And another thing too, man, something else that makes it real huge. I think this is probably one of the biggest benefits of being 60 when you're planning is something called indexing. They always talk about what do they say about compounding? It's a second wonder of the world or whatever. Well, I think compounding is 2A and indexing is 2B. That's how important I think it is. When you turn 60, the year you turn 60 is when Social Security sets the indexing factor for your working years, and that makes all the difference in the world, man. They get something called the National Average Wage Index. All this is on the Social Security website, ssa.gov. I'd recommend everybody take a look at that, and it explains it on there a lot better. I'd just give them the highlights, because if I was to say anything other than that, it'd screw you up, and you'd say, that guy don't know what the heck he's talking about. You'd be right, but I'd hate for you to get the wrong idea off of me. But it's they get a National Wage Index the year you turn 60, and then the following October, they come up with the indexing factor. It might be 1.15 or 2.05 or whatever it is, but it's different for every year you worked. You brought a salary in, a wage in, and that makes all the difference in the world. Because that 30 grand you might have made 1990 or when you was 25 or 30 or whatever, I mean, it could be as much as $100,000 or better. And that indexing wage is what they use to calculate your daggone Social Security. They index every year you had a wage with that indexing factor, and then they take the top 35, and it's the, what do you call it, the equation and how they do it's all on their site. So, but it's and that's another thing, you ain't got no idea when you're young. You can't really plan for it because you ain't got no idea what it's gonna be, how much money you're gonna have from Social Security. You know, before then, they're using old numbers, and it just gives you an estimate. But and it says it right on the daggone when you look for your Social Security, how much Social Security you're gonna get. It says it right there on the website. It's an estimate if you keep making this amount or some bull. I don't know why people don't see that, but Social Security has a daggone calculator. You can punch in what your future salary is going to be, and I always punched in 0. That way, there, you know, it just kind of, well, especially when I'm retired, because I don't have no income, no wages, so it gives me a little bit more realistic number. But anyways, man, I think 60 is huge, man. Just so much kind of opens up to you, and you can kind of see how all that hard work, sacrifice, struggle kind of came together to make a good plan for you, or help make it easier for you to plan anyways when you were younger. So, oh, you know what? Well, the reason I was thinking about this is next month, a couple of weeks, we go for our 6-month review, first one of the year. And so I always spend a couple of weeks beforehand, about 5-10 minutes during the week, looking over things in case I have any questions or want to talk about anything with him. And over the weekend, it's just something that popped in my mind. It was just a little quirky little thing coming to my mind. But see, this Thursday, the 3rd Thursday of the month. You got 5 Thursdays this month, so it falls right in the middle of the month. So we'll have a live down on the corner, 7 p.m. Eastern. If you get a chance and you want to show up, hey man, bring your glass of tea and we'll sit down and have us a little chit chat. Otherwise, man, we'll catch you later on. Y'all take care, man. We'll talk with y'all later.